So let's talk about the Orlando Magic. They're sitting here at 29-31. They just got wiped off the court by the Cavs the other night, 122-82. Definitely one of the most embarrassing games on their home court this season. Now, am I giving up on the experiment of Franz, Boncaro, and Jalen Suggs? No, that's absolutely crazy and premature conversations. The reason why I say that, because these guys are still young. My expectations coming into the season for the Magic, it was going to go two ways. Number one, they were going to take that massive leap and become a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference. And the reason why I had such high expectations, because we have seen young basketball teams in the past become a 6 to 8 seed. Now, they were, I believe, number 5 last year. They lost to the Cavs in tough 7-game series. But we saw the potential where they could take another leap this year. My other expectation was they could go through growing pains, because remember, this is a young basketball team. Paulo Banchero is 22 years old. Franz Wagner is 23 years old. Now, I do not expect it to go this way, where Paulo was on fire to start the season. He got hurt and he was out for 3 months. Franz got hurt, I believe, in December, and he was out for a period of time. So your key rotational pieces, your superstar players, they were not healthy. And it's hard to win consistently when your best players are not on the basketball court night in and night out. And then you look at Jalen Suggs. He got carried out in a wheelchair on January, I believe, 25th. He's been out for a while. Mo Wagner, he's out for the rest of the season. So when you're losing key rotational pieces, your star players are in and out of the lineup. It is tough to win basketball games. So looking at the Magic right now, they're going through growing pains. We saw Caldwell Pope shoot 40% from 3 last year. He's down to 30% this year from 3. That wasn't expected. The team as a whole shooting is not that good right now. And I think for Franz and Paulo Banchero, they're going to be just fine. I still expect Paulo to take another leap. I still expect this Magic team to eventually figure things out. And I expect them in the next 2 or 3 seasons to be a championship contender. That's how much faith I have in this team. They're just going through the lows of being a young basketball team. This happens to everybody. We saw with the Celtics back in 2021, where they made it as a 7th seed. Jaylen Brown got hurt. People were saying, can Tatum and Brown work things out? Can they win together on a consistent basis? Then they went into next season. They started out very slow. But what happened? They turned things around in the middle of the season and made the NBA Finals. Now, am I expecting that from Orlando? Maybe not. But do I expect them to be a top 4 team in the East next season? I do, because I still have faith in Paulo. Like, his ceiling is so high. I have faith in Franz Wagner. His ceiling is really high as well. I thought Franz could have made the All-Star team this season. But again, it didn't work out. They've been decimated with injuries. So going forward, the expectation the rest of the season for Orlando is just make the playoffs. Even if you get knocked down in the first round, at least be competitive, fight, even if it's against Boston or Cleveland, and show them that, yes, we've been struggling. We are not on the same level yet, but next year we're going to ramp things up and turn our seasons around. Because I believe if Paulo and Franz were healthy enough, if Jalen Suggs was healthy, if Mo Wagner didn't get hurt, then this team would be different. Now, offensively, they got to get better. I think they're 16th overall in offense right now. But I think going forward, we're going to see Paulo and Franz shoot the ball better from 3. I do expect it. I think Franz is at like 29% from 3, and Paulo's at 30%. Jalen Suggs, I just saw he's at 31% this year from 3. I don't think that is going to be an accurate number going forward. I think they're just going through another season where they haven't been healthy. They've been in and out of the lineup. And it's tough to remain competitive and win basketball games when your key players are not available. And we didn't expect Caldwell Pope to regress so much from 3. I just believe the law of averages will play out better next season. I think they're going to look at this season. They're going to learn a lot from it. They had key rotational pieces I thought grow a lot. Anthony Black has looked solid this year. I'm glad they're giving him more playing time. Batazi's looked really good. So the Magic are not in this place where they should give up on this roster. That's premature conversations. They're going to figure it out. Just like Tatum and Brown figured things out. And now you look at the Celtics and you're going, man, they look like a well-oiled machine, but you forget they've been together for at least 4 seasons. We live in a generation where everything's so microwave. We expect these young players to go out and make these deep playoff runs right away, when realistically, you go through the ups and downs of a regular season. You go through injuries. You go through growing pains. That's part of being a young basketball team. And sometimes a regular season just doesn't work out. And you look back, you go, what happened? Why did this happen? You just learn and grow from it. So I expect the Magic this offseason to get better. I expect him to find a point guard. I expect him to find a knockdown 3-point shooter to help Boncaro and Franz Wagner. I expect Boncaro and Franz to shoot better. I expect Jalen Suggs to get his shooting percentage back to where it was. So for me, The Magic are just having a rough season. That is it. It's very simple. Instead of being so worried about the Orlando Magic being seventh in the Eastern Conference, we have to remember it takes time to be a championship contender. It doesn't happen overnight, especially when you have a young roster who is just getting better with their different skill sets. So Boncaro is going to work in the offseason on his game. Franz Wagner is going to work on his game in the offseason. And I expect them to get better as basketball players because Boncaro is only 22 years old. Franz Wagner is only 23 years old. So you expect another leap from those guys. Jalen Suggs was looking really good this season before he got hurt. And if he's back down the stretch and they can play good basketball, even if they don't win the playoffs, if they get a game or two, that builds momentum for next season. So again, we just got to remember that when it comes to a young basketball team, sometimes the season doesn't work out. You can be really good one year and down the next year because you're still making adjustments. People are adjusting to your game and also injuries. And that's what's happened for the Magic this year. Unfortunately, they've been through a lot of injuries to their key star players. Tell me if the OKC Thunder would survive without SGA. Tell me if the Lakers would survive without LeBron and Luka if they were out for a period of time. How good would those teams be? So we have to think about it from that perspective. When you lose your superstars and they're not out there on a consistent basis, it ruins the chemistry because they don't get enough reps. And then when you run into a team like the Cleveland Cavaliers, where their roster has been pretty much healthy the whole season, of course you're going to get that result last night. But again, it doesn't mean that the Magic are this horrible team that offensively they can't get better. They're still second in defensive rating. I just think it's just one of those seasons you just got to wash away. You learn from it. You come into next season, you get off to that great start. I think the Magic will be back. And I think the GM just needs to make some good decisions this offseason with improving the three-point shooting. You thought Caldwell Pope would fill that void. I still think Caldwell Pope will shoot better next year. I don't think he's going to shoot 30%. It's just a lot of weird things going on with the Magic. And going forward, I'm not freaking out about this team. I still have a high expectation where they're going to be championship contenders. They're going to be making deep playoff runs because I believe in Paulo and Franz Wagner and Jalen Suggs that much. So yeah, Magic fans, it's just a tough season. Injuries happen. They'll be fine. I'm still riding with the Magic. I still think they got a lot of potential here. And I think, it's just one of those things where injuries took place. It didn't work out. And whatever happens the rest of the season, just look at it as, okay, we haven't been healthy enough, and whatever happens in the playoffs is going to happen, and we just focus on next season. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Love to hear your thoughts on Orlando Magic season. Are you disappointed, or are you just giving it a break? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.